All right. So last time, as the party kept exploring the Amber Temple, they looted a treasure vault and decided to squeeze through the back wall to see what this other chamber was that lay behind it. And upon entering, they disturbed the apparent resting place of about half a dozen vampire spawn. And after a pretty grueling fight, most of the threat was dispatched. However, in the process, as Dane and Greg had been throwing the Sun Sword back and forth to make maximum use of its abilities against undead, it ended up getting intercepted by one of these vampire spawn. And as uh, the now bladeless hilt, as the vampire is not going to ignite it willingly, is in this thing's possession, and it runs away. The party gives chase. Dane is the first one upstairs in pursuit, but by this time, he finds himself staring at what looks to be an empty library. There are a number of shelves and tables arranged, kind of framing this well-lit study. And as Ron was, I believe, the second one to make his way up,
Yep.
he decided to animate some bookshelves and begin, I think, fishing for some sort of hidden passage, looking for something that might have been concealed by the shelves. And so he pulled the two shelves that were on the south wall back toward the stairs to expose that wall. And it didn't appear there was anything hidden behind the shelves. Dane, upon taking a quick inventory, basically kind of analyzed the way the shelves were laid out and made for a gap exposing part of the wall between two shelves on the west wall of the room. And he was about to investigate that as we left off. So this is the part where I think everyone else comes running up the steps. And so, just for my own bookkeeping, let me make sure I have everybody. We've still got 4 giant spiders. 1 Yoan, 1 Greg, 1 Esmeralda, 1 Muriel, and 1 Rictavio. And a shield guardian that can't squeeze through the wall. So let's get all those up here.
Does Dane have another weapon? Or Dane, do you?
I think he does.
Yep, I have a longsword and a greatsword as well.
Okay, cool. I was just...
He's kind of a walking armory.
Yeah, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure he actually had a weapon out.
Yep,
yeah.
That's fine.
Cool.
Just carrying a bunch of swords around.
Cool. So I thought I had something for him. I have a broom you could use.
Gosh, I at least have a spear.
I have a couple flyers.
Give him paper cuts.
Yeah, I have a pocket full of obsidian shards. Yeah.
Cool story.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone running up the steps. And at this point, that's when Dane is going to make his, we'll call that an investigation check to determine whether there's perhaps a secret door or something in this wall. All right. Yeah, it doesn't, there are no apparent seams or anything that belie a secret passage concealed by this portion of the wall.
Alright, I want to go look at the south wall then.
Okay. Yeah, and as you all see Dane kind of dart from one opening to the next, is there anything that anyone else would like to do?
Do I know that we can't find the thing that took the sword?
Well, you see a room full of allies and no vampire spawn and no sword, so
Okay. I am going to turn into a direwolf and try to smell it out.
oh, okay.
Yeah, very angry Dane as well.
I'm just shadowing Dane. Whatever he does, I'm doing.
Okay. So Dane, go ahead and give me that investigation check. All right. And yeah, poking around here, you do find signs of a concealed door in this southern wall of the room. As you're doing that, I think we kind of like back up and watch as Yoan transforms into a dire wolf, now situated at the top of the steps. And I would like you, Yoan. Well, actually, hold on. Let me get you a dire wolf, and that way you can roll with it and stuff.
Yo in the dark.
Mhm. All right. Let's make a copy of this one.
Dane over here finding all the secrets. This is probably going to lead to some fucking magical armor that he can have follow him too.
Sounds good. Or a new sword. Sword would be better, but
You get the magical armor wielding that sword.
okay.
All right. So Becca, you should have something labeled direwolf transformation in your journal now.
Okay.
And so go ahead and roll a perception check with that. And if you have advantage on sight and smell ones, you can go ahead and take that advantage as well.
I do. How do I roll that?
So, are you in the character sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. So you, if there's not a designated perception one, then you just click on wisdom. Oh, there you go.
Is that with advantage?
That was with advantage.
So I rolled double 9s.
Double 9s. You rolled 2 natural 6s.
Damn.
I rolled it twice in a row.
You rolled quadruple 9s.
It's also whispering to you.
Oh yeah,
Nope, she's killing us all.
it's true.
Murder mystery.
That should fix it. Go ahead and roll something just to double check.
Gasp.
Cool.
Skill.
Yeah, so you sniff and I mean, there's kind of just this general hanging stench of death that is occasionally punctuated by the familiar smells of your companions. It's hard to focus in on one particular undead creature that might have come barreling through here. And as you're sniffing around, we hear the grinding of stone on stone as the southern wall sort of pulls open, revealing a doorway leading directly into a set of stairs that seem to descend, by the looks of it, even further below the low level of the temple that you were just in.
Okay. I'm barreling down the stairs.
Yep, I'm running down them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the giant spiders still there?
Yep.
I'm gonna hop on one instead and just like ride it down the side.
You're lucky that I told it to listen to you.
This is true.
Tactical advantage. I'm basically sitting on it like you would sit on like a crotch rocket and just like holding on. So.
Okay, so Dane goes barreling down, I assume. Probably first in.
Yep.
Okay. And then if Ron's mounting up, I think that gives the opportunity for somebody else to cut in if they want to.
It would probably be me.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and pop that in there. All right. And yeah, then Ron hops on a spider. Ugh. Almost, well, I did sneeze. I just stifled it. Okay. Spider with the Ron on top. And I mean, I guess Greg and the NPCs will kind of squeeze in behind. All right. So, as you run down, Dane taking the lead, you go down these steps that, like I said, seem to go down further than any point you've seen yet in the Amber Temple. And as you reach what looks to be the bottom, or at least you come within view of what seems to be the bottom, there is a loud crackling sound as a sphere of electrical energy seems to coalesce in the air at the bottom of the steps and then dart forward toward you and your group. Alright, so let's see what I need from you guys. Okay. So, Dane, I need a dex save from you.
I'm gonna reroll that one with Indomitable.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
That's better.
Much better.
15. That is considerably more respectable. Still not enough. It's not. Yeah. So let's roll some damage here. Dane, you take 42 points of lightning damage.
Oh.
Oh well.
Oh well. Are you
So
still
much for
conscious?
Dane. No.
Oh, you're
So much
down.
for
Okay.
Dane.
Our dog is very concerned for you. Okay, and as it hits Dane and you see him begin to go limp, the lightning then seems to burst out of him and back toward the rest of the group. So next in line, I'm going to need Yoan the Direwolf and Ron to both make dex saves as well.
Do I just hit Dex?
Unless there's like a specific thing for dex under the saving throws.
Oh. Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna blow a luck.
Okay.
But I got a nat 20.
But you didn't, though.
Oh, okay, that's what that button was for.
That's what that button was for.
I didn't see the second eye, so I was really confused.
All right. So let me roll separate damage for all you guys, because that's kind of how this works. All right. So Yoan, being the second one to get hit here, you're going to take 44 points of lightning damage. So that pops you out of your direwolf form.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take another 7
Yep.
from your HP pool.
Okay.
account for that.
Should not have opened that door.
All right. And then Ron, you managed to like jump off the top of the spider just in time to see it get hit with a bolt of this lightning as well, and kind of just vaporize just a few feet below you. The bolt aiming for you seems to just stray off a little bit and impact harmlessly against the rock wall next to you.
I just land on my feet and I say, "Whoa, that was a lucky break for me."
All right, and I think
You
at
killed
this
my
point,
spider.
yeah, at this point, I'm going to pull you guys onto the actual map, and we'll start an initiative sequence here because you guys just walked in on something.
Did you only kill one of my spiders?
Yes.
Okay.
The one I was riding.
Yep. I just went for the next closest things with that chain lightning, so that would have been Yoan, Ron, and Ron's spider.
It's my spider, thank you very much.
Well, but
But it was his mount.
yes.
So we'll get the spiders in here, as I'm sure they want to help. Okay. And then I shall do some initiative shenanigans here.
Not the initiative shenanigans.
No!
All of the initiative shenanigans.
Alright, so this is probably going to roll separate initiative scores for all three of the spiders. I think I'll just keep whatever the middle one turns out to be, if that's cool.
Okay.
Okay, Brown.
Okay. I mean, you can't be too mad at that, right?
That's
What
pretty
is
good.
it?
20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always roll shit for me. Every damn time.
Am
You
I
know what?
supposed to?
You should keep talking about that, Taylor, because it seems to have worked out all right for Yoan. He's in the middle of the pack now.
Am I
Yeah.
supposed to see something more than a staircase?
If you are, it's not going to be very much. Let me double check the lighting here.
And you know what? I do want to burn a luck to reroll that.
Oh yeah, there is one other little tweak I need to make with the dynamic lighting. So, pew.
Oh, that's so much more.
Yeah, that's because the secret door wasn't moved yet.
So.
And you said you're going to re-roll?
Yep.
Okay. Alright.
What was the other one? Because it replaced it.
It was like 10, I think.
Alright, I'll keep this one then.
Yep, and then, I gotta roll for Greg again as well. So, let's see.
That put me a little higher, so I'm happy with
So
that.
he's got a 7 now, and he rolls again and gets an 8. Cool.
There you go.
Alright. A little better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that means we're gonna start this encounter with, actually, hold on. There's one more roll I need to make that's kind of important.
The sorcerer in the dungeon.
The sorcerer.
The sorcerer in the dungeon.
Alright.
So I can't see anything in front of me, I can only see things behind me.
Should be able to see Dane.
I can see Dane.
Okay. Yeah, the way this map is built, like you're on the portion of it that's descending to like another area-ish.
Yeah, but I mean, do I just... Well, I mean, I figure I would see some of that room, but... Am I just too high up on the stairs? I guess.
There could be a door at the bottom, too.
Well, they shot lightning through the door?
Oh yeah, where's this
So-
guy trying to kill me?
That is a good question. So what you see looking down the steps, and this will answer your question, Becca. Um, it looks like the wall of a tightly constructed spiral staircase that seems to go up. So you've got this straight stairway leading downward, and at the very bottom there looks to be another way that will basically take you straight up into something. And it's at the kind of intersection of those two sets of stairs that the lightning bolt things seem to originate and launch at you guys.
Okay.
And
I think I understood what you were trying to say.
okay. Cool. So at the top of the round, then, because Dane rolled so well on initiative, I'm going to need him to make a death save. Okay, that's one success. This is a good thing. So then we move on to the spiders. That
Go, my herd of spiders.
yeah, and I think at the moment, like they don't see a threat, but they're going to try and like scuttle in and at least be ready on the walls, kind of alongside the staircase here. So maybe next time they'll be able to make use of their skills. And to avoid cluttering things up, we're going to say the spiders are in the hallway, but I'm not going to stick them in there because it's just a fucking mess.
Is Dane still glowing? Because I think didn't Esmeralda cast light on Dane?
Yes. And he would still be glowing because it's not
Yeah.
anything to do with him.
Okay.
So yeah.
When did she do that?
Right as you were beginning to take off after the vampire spawn that stole your sword.
Yep.
Let me make sure that that you're still emitting light here, which you're not.
Cool. I was wondering why I can't see shit.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of shrink your dark vision range just for the time being, because not to be cold, but you're not using it, and you're giving out like 40 feet of light there that now people should be able to see. Can you see where he is now, Ron?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so spiders are in the hallway. Esmeralda then kind of weaves her way through to try and do something. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think she is going to It's tricky when you can't see your enemy, you know?
No, I don't know. Please tell me.
Okay. Well, I think not having a target to really fixate on, because she really couldn't even see where the thing originated from, she's going to just shoot a firebolt forward in the hopes that she hits something. So obviously at disadvantage.
Obviously.
And that's a natural 1. So yeah, nothing doing. But she kind of stands at the ready next to Dane, ready to, attack or withdraw with him in hand if need be. All right. And then, as you all do that stuff, okay. a creature then kind of fades into physical presence at the base of the steps. Um, it looks kind of like a cross between a humanoid and a fox. It's wearing a bluish robe, clutching a book in one hand, wearing a tiny pair of brass spectacles over its nose, and sort of snarling at you. And without a word, it just reaches out and points at Esmeralda, who is the closest conscious figure to it at this point. And
How far away is it from me?
let's see. Oh, let me make it visible on the map. That would be good. Right there.
I mean, are we gonna go with that measurement? I know there's...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, before it says anything, I'm gonna just... and I'm gonna counterspell him.
Okay.
We'll do... let's do a 3rd level.
Okay. So I am still gonna need you to make a check here.
What kind of a check?
Your spellcasting ability.
That would be charisma, right?
Yeah, and remind me one more time, what level are you casting this at?
This was a 3rd.
3rd, okay.
So just a straight charisma check?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna use my last luck on that.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is gonna be important.
Whatever gave you that idea?
That thing chunks.
All right. So yeah, it materializes and kind of narrows its eyes, snarls, and points at Esmeralda, and you see this like blackish energy beginning to form around its fingertip, kind of framed by like a shimmering white. And it shoots toward Esmeralda, and just as you kind of cough and begin to interrupt it, it seems to fade about 6 inches before impacting Esmeralda's body.
Cool.
Yeah, and it now looks at you, and it's not a pleasant look.
Yeah, I'm giving it the middle finger.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think it's going to stand its ground right there. Which now brings us to Ron's turn. What are you doing?
Let's see here. I've got so many fucking things I could do. You know, I haven't used this. So I am going to cast Stinking Cloud. It is a 20-foot radius. And I'm going to put it right on the fox thing. Like, just down on that level.
Okay. Bearing in mind that this will affect your companions as well, yes?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
I'm out of it, right? I'm not in that.
Yeah, you're out of it.
Well, wait. Now, is there a door or something down here? Down around here somewhere?
No, so what you see looking down there is what looks like the bottom of a tightly constructed stone spiral staircase. So it's just like that central pillar, and then you see some steps that kind of lead off to one side upward a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. I'll still drop it down in there.
All right. So let's see. gonna take a little bit of resizing here, so bear with me. That's actually pretty fucking close.
That's fine. That works.
Something like that. Just stretch it out a little. Oh, not that much, though. That'll do.
Am I in it or not in it?
All
I
right, so it's a
miss ya?
20-foot radius. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll say you're not entirely within it.
You're taller than the sphere of it.
Yeah, we'll say it materializes like right in front of your face, but you're not far enough into it that it will affect you, given your current position.
Okay.
And then after I do that, I'm just going to look down at Dane and I'm going to say, Dane, what the hell are you doing? This is no time to sleep. Get up. And that's going to be a healing word at 2nd level.
Okay.
Or, yeah, healing word is bonus action. Yes, okay.
All right. Generally, I think there is a rule about like if you're gonna cast two things, they gotta be like one of them has to be a cantrip or something. But
Oh,
I'm not gonna go through all the shit of
bad.
working that out. We'll keep that in mind, and I'll try to remember to have that rule handy next time.
Okay. How does that
But-
equate to, like, Misty Step and stuff as bonus action?
Mm,
That's also a 2nd level spell.
then I think in that case you could Misty Step, and then you could use a cantrip as an action.
Okay.
But for now, we'll just roll with it. So yeah, Dane, you get 5 hit points back, and
Up.
you are conscious. You're still like face down on the steps, but you're awake.
That's good.
Then with that, I'm just going to take a step or two back, and actually, if I can, kind of just weasel my way behind Muriel, and I'll say, Esmeralda, Dane, you might want to get out of there. It's gonna get stinky. And that ends my turn.
Okay. All right. So then we've got Muriel looking on through this like hazy green cloud that's now formed in the stairwell, and I think she draws her sword and is kind of at the ready. You know, let's see how brave she's feeling. Yeah, no, she's gonna hang out here.
Probably for the best.
So that's it for her. Yoan, you're half in, half out. Not quite covered enough by this to have to worry about just spending your turn retching. But you're smelling some pretty nasty stuff.
If I enter it, will I lose my turn retching?
No.
When you are completely within it at the start of your turn.
Okay.
So, like, you
I'm
can
gonna-
run in and smack him and then run out.
I'm gonna go here and cast Cure Wounds on Dane at 3rd level.
Okay.
So 20 points,
Good stuff.
and then I'm gonna back out.
Okay.
That's my turn.
You want to grab Dane? Drag him with you?
Just grab him by the ankle.
Oh.
I mean, he's,
Thump up the
yeah.
steps.
Can I grab Dane
Yeah, I'd allow it. I mean, you know.
and try and move him?
Yeah,
I guess up here.
yeah, so let's see. You move 1 space to get in, then
Yeah.
you grab him, and then basically you can move 2 spaces while dragging him.
So 1, 2. Right.
Yes.
So
And
then that
he
at
would
least
be there.
pulls him. Yeah.
Just out of the shit.
Yep. Cool, cool. And that's your turn then, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Greg,
Oh boy.
let's see what good old Greg's got up his sleeve, or his not sleeve, as the case may be.
His shirtless sleeve.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think you hear the big bald brute like let out this nasty like "Roar!" as he rage, and he's gonna take off down the steps.
Oh boy.
So
Is he immune to
yeah,
poison at all?
you don't know,
Well, I mean, if he is, then he's immune. He doesn't have to make a throw.
right?
So
Okay, come on, roll 20. You can do this.
No.
9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. And yeah, then he gets to
How many
do
hits
some.
does it take the Goliath to crack the mage? A 1, a 2, a 3. Crunch. He's dead.
Fuck you.
Indeed.
All right. Um. I mean, I think it's probably the Greg thing to do to reckless attack here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, he's gonna do the thing. So
He's gonna bring that.
back up to great axe. 17. Pretty sure that's gonna hit. Yeah, that hits. So he brings the axe down and like slices across the thing's chest, like tearing the robe a little bit, and you see like this kind of opening appear. There's no blood. It's there. Like there's definitely a cut in this creature. And then he's gonna do the thing. He can do the thing again, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, he does the thing again. And double check. Yeah, so it's two pretty hefty impacts as he slashes across the thing's like torso, but you get the impression it's probably not doing as much damage as big strong Goliath might expect to do.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's it for Greg. So, Dane, you're awake. You just got dragged partway up the stairs, and it smells in here. What are you doing?
I'm going to continue the rest of the way up the stairs and sit off to the side.
Okay.
Does that hurt?
All right. Yeah, you could probably still smell a little bit of the cooked dwarf, underneath your armor. Cool. Any like actions or anything you wanted to do, or just kind of retreat and get to safety?
Yeah, I'm going to get out of there.
Okay. Cool. So, we've got some spiders, and
Oh, I was gonna tell them to attack on my turn.
okay. Cool.
That's what I was.
Easy enough. All right. So let's see. Reasonably speaking, how many of these could we get into an attacking position? At least one, probably two. I don't know about three. We'll go with two. So two of them kind of scuttle over. One of them on the west wall here, and then the other kind of walking down the ceiling. And they both close in around this thing. And they're going to try and bite it. So first one is a 10 to hit, which does not hit. Second is a 12 to hit, which also doesn't hit. They tried.
Don't
Okay,
they have
but
a range attack?
the question is, would they be able to hit with it with two big ass spiders and a Goliath? Like, because I think you're going for, can I get the third to attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's see how this attack works mechanically, and maybe we can give it an attack with cover or something. Yeah, so it's a ranged weapon attack. So yeah, we'll allow it with probably like 3/4 cover. It's a pretty crowded hallway. Hey, that's a natural 20. All right. So yeah, you watch as the third spider kind of scuttles up to the ceiling of the hall, but a little bit higher up on the stairs, and like carefully takes aim with the little glands that the webbing of the spider comes from, and you watch as this like thick rope of spider web shoots down the hallway, kind of like whizzing past Greg's head, and like sort of plasters the creature at the bottom of the steps against the far wall. And so it is currently restrained by webbing. All right. So then Esmeralda is going to, well, first of all, she doesn't want to be boxed in, well, really boxed out by Greg and the spiders, but given the circumstance, I don't think she really has an angle to get in and fight up close. So let's see what else she can do to be productive here. Hmm.
Is she immune to poison?
That is a valid question. Because she does have some special stuff going on, but let's see. She is not, so she needs to make a save. Okay.
She has to make a pretty high save, too.
Yeah, what's the DC on that?
19.
19.
Yes.
Alright, well she rolled a 14, so no, she's just like dry heaving over here.
Yep.
Cool. Alright. So she spends her action doing that, which means she does still have movement. So yeah, that being the case, I think she's going to use that movement to put some distance between her and the lightning fox and the stinking cloud and all that fun shit.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll clean up here, get the spiders out of the room so we can situate people in a way that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, she just like leans against the wall, kind of opposite Dane, just just like eyes watering. All right. So first things first. Let's see if this thing is immune to poison.
What?
The
The web is immune to poison.
Well, that's fine, but I want to see if it's coughing while it's in a web.
I know, but the web is. So therefore it doesn't get destroyed.
Okay, so the creature in the webbing doesn't seem phased by the stinking cloud.
God damn it.
Yeah, and that being the case, um, yeah, so much fun shit. I think it's just gonna like be kind of vanilla this turn and make a check to get out of the webbing, which it does. It like claws at the webbing, like cleaning off its book as it just shakes everything aside, and then it still has a Goliath right in front of it. I think. Um. Yeah, you know what? I think it's all right here. I think it feels pretty good. So, just gonna hang out there. Ron.
Well, I'm going to, seeing that everybody's running out, I'm gonna walk up and peek over and see. And I see that. Can I see Greg?
Yeah, like you can probably make out his form through the like hazy green fog that's filling the stairwell. Yeah.
All right. Uh, I'll just kind of look back at Esmeralda and I'm gonna just drop it, like drop
The
concentration.
cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um, and then I'm gonna say, well, if stinking clouds aren't your forte, how about one of these? And I'm going to. Greg be damned, I'm dropping a fireball on it.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, my
Well, Greg's
webbing's
a
already
tank.
gone.
Huh?
Get up here. I thought you were gonna burn my webbing, but my webbing's already gone.
Yeah, no, the
so-
webbing's gone, but there are two spiders down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
are they within the proximity of a fireball?
They're like right up on the thing. So if you're gonna hit
Okay.
the thing with a
Yeah, then
fireball, then
can I retcon that then? That was my
sure.
bad. Okay. I'll just look down and fuck it, I'll just cast Dissonant Whispers then. Edit.
Okay.
And I'll just whisper to it and say, "You're nothing. Nothing. Bow to me."
Okay, and that's a wisdom save.
That is a wisdom save.
Okay. That's a 24. How's that one go?
Like-
Yeah, it passed.
Like for some reason, I think this creature has really high wisdom.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was worth a shot. I'm just going to look over at who the hell is below me, Yoan? I'm gonna look over at Yoan and say, "You got this, Yoan," and I will inspire you with the bonus action.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
Cool. So then we have Muriel, who is again not feeling very productive at this point in time. She's got her sword. She's ready to do stuff, but there's not really much stuff she can do. So, Yoan, what are you doing?
Well, hmm. Can I want to persuade this creature. I want to be able. All we're doing is looking for a vampire who stole our sword. We don't care about you. Do you know where it went?
Okay. I guess make a persuasion check.
14. I did on my sheet, not on the werewolf transformation sheet.
You're just speaking as direwolf transformation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you say that, and it kind of like echoes down the stairs a bit, and the thing kind of cocks its head, looks up at you, like pushes the spectacles up on its snout a little bit, and says, "Well, then why did you destroy my home?"
We were looking for the vampire.
Just kind of huffs and continues like preparing its next attack.
Oh. Well, I tried. That's my turn, right?
Yeah.
I am gonna move though.
Okay.
Here, I guess. No. Here. No, I can't see it from there. Here. Okay.
Okay. So Rictavio is like first and foremost just kind of puzzling over like what the fuck is this thing? Um hmm. So he is going to make a check. All right. Um, so yeah, at this point, he kind of yells out to the party and says, "Don't try to strike any deals with it. This thing is in the same league as a demon or devil." And with that in mind, I think he's going to. Oh, where is it?
I ate it.
Why would you do that?
It looked yummy. I couldn't help myself.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Rictavio then runs up, places his hand on Greg's back, and you see some sort of holy light wash over Greg's form. This is kind of unfamiliar. You're not entirely sure what spell effect this one might be, but probably relevant. Which then will bring us to Greg himself, who is going to keep doing Greg stuff. That's the one good thing about playing the big, strong, axe-wielding dude is there's not a whole lot of variation in what you got to do.
Yeah, it's just you just alternate between swing left, swing right.
Yeah, you know? All right. So, of course, Reckless. Yeah, those are going to hit.
Because advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. Alright, and so he slices and dices. Doesn't quite puree, though, as the thing is still standing and looking pretty healthy. And again, you see like little clumps of fur kind of being, cast into the air with each stroke, but it looks like this isn't doing nearly as much damage as it should. Yeah.
Oh gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
I forgot I had the inspiration I could have used to persuade him.
Gosh darn it. Okay. Yeah. Greg does Greg stuff. What's Dane doing?
Well, I can't really do anything.
You have lots of health. What are you talking about?
Even
You
if I
have
learn,
almost half of your very much depleted health bar.
yeah, yeah, almost. That's not even. It's barely a quarter of what I have normally. But I don't have any weapon that can hurt him either.
That's unfortunate.
All I have is my longsword, and it's not magical of any sort. But how far?
Hmm?
Yep, I could make it down there, correct? From where I'm at? Or is there too many spiders in the way, anyways?
Let's see. Yeah, it would be close with the whole spider thing. Like, you probably couldn't get right up next to him to make a melee attack, if that's what you're going for.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll stay out here.
Okay. Spiders. Doing spider stuff. 2 bites, and we'll have to see if the other one recharges its web attack. Bite 1, 11 to hit, no dice. Bite 2, 12 to hit, no dice. Becca, go ahead and roll a d6, and on a 5 or 6, you get your web back.
Oh.
Okay, so the other one is kind of just boxed out at the moment. All right. Esmeralda. Okay. So yeah, she's still like leaning back, catching her breath. You know, there's still a little bit of coughing going on, but it seems she's at least mostly cleared out her air passages and stuff. You see her like wiping the tears away. But what's good here? I think she will. Yeah, she'll just duck around the corner and throw her hand axe at the thing. 20 to hit. So again, it doesn't do like, normal hand axe damage, but it does some. But without any crazy magical benefits now, there's now just a slightly furry hand axe that kind of clattered to the floor down at the bottom of the steps. All right. So that'll do it for her. This thing, very much kind of boxed in at this point. It's going to do some things.
Not the things.
Not the things! All right. Let's see here. All right. This thing is going to it's going to kind of reach out and point at an area like kind of over Greg's shoulder, behind Rictavio even. And you see like a little spark in its hand begin to fizzle and build as this beam shoots out, impacting one of the steps. Go ahead.
I'm gonna counterspell at 4th level.
Okay. Let's see. I think you might have just done the thing.
Yep. Please tell me I did. 'Cause-
Yeah, you do the thing.
Cool.
Cool, cool. And so it again fizzles before it hits its target.
I'm gonna say, would you stop that? We're trying to have a conversation with you.
It just sort of looks at you and goes, and seems to fade away.
It just disappears.
Yep.
Did I recognize any like how it did it? Was it like a misty
It
step?
it didn't. Well, let's see. I would say it doesn't look like any spell that you've seen used
Okay,
for starters.
gotcha.
But yeah. And so with a huff, it disappears. And it's now your turn.
My turn. Alright, I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just try to squeeze my way in and see, is he still there?
So Ron's like crouching beneath the spider that's
Yeah.
okay.
Climbing over top of the spider if I have to. I don't know. I don't, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
what are you gonna like swat at the area, see if he's
Yeah.
still there or
Yeah, I'm
something?
gonna swat at the area.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you do that and he doesn't seem to be there.
I'll look at Greg and I'll say, "You, Greg, you try," and I'll just kind of back up. And I'm just gonna wait and see what Greg does.
Okay.
Maybe lean back against a spider or something.
Cool. Yeah. Muriel just hanging out. Yowen, what are you doing?
I believe I am going to hold my action until I see a threat again.
And what action might you be holding?
A spell attack?
What kind of spell attack?
Thorn Whip. I'm also gonna move there.
Okay.
I lied. There. Okay.
All right. And yeah, I think Rotavio spends his whole turn. He turns around and in what he can get out in like 6 seconds, he says, "This is a Yugoloth. These are dangerous planar creatures. Don't take this threat lightly." You can see kind of a fear in his eyes that you have not noticed in really any encounter up to this point. Yeah. And Greg is gonna kind of just lumber forward and try and see if he can like pat it on its fuzzy head or something. If it's still in the area. He doesn't find anything, and that'll bring us to Dane.
I'll start walking down the stairs.
Okay.
Or stand next to Yoan. Try and see where this thing went.
Okay. Yeah, you head down, and peek around. You're all just kind of hanging out on the stairs, as an adventuring party does. Okay. Spiders. I guess they'll just hang out. They kind of like turn and look at Yoan like, what do we do now?
Does that one get its bub back, or?
We'll roll for it.
I'll just be like, wait until you see a threat. Yes. It has its web back.
Okay. All right. And yeah, so then they're on the lookout, as most of you seem to be. Esmeralda kind of pokes her head around. So, it's gone?
Yes.
Well, if it's a planar creature, maybe it switched planes.
Alright. She's kind of looking around, again, picking up on the obvious concern in Rictavia's presence. And let's see. Okay. So then, I think. So probably Yoan and Dane can just faintly hear the kind of like the clacking of claws on stone, almost like a large dog walking somewhere. With that somewhere being the library. And seemingly on cue as everyone's talking about the thing, looking for it, this Yugoloth apparently comes strolling up the stairs, and let's see, let me replace it here so that we've got reference. Bless you.
Sorry.
Alright, so it's probably going to be like right there. And yeah, with its movement, it'll probably get to, we'll say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically right here. If the thing will fucking move, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, Roll20. And then it kind of opens its book, thumbs through a couple more pages. And yeah, you see it once again just sort of look at really the 2 or 3 of you that it can really see. Actually, I guess I can just tell who it can see because I can do the thing. Yeah, it just looks at Muriel and Esmeralda. And there's this kind of wicked smile on its face as it reaches out. And yeah, there is a thing in range if you want to do something, Yoan.
I mean, just my held action.
Okay, yeah.
Can I do my held action?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay.
I saw you measuring, so I was like, yeah, that's the thing you can do. Okay.
Does a 25 hit?
25 does hit.
Okay, it moves 10 feet closer to me.
All right.
I don't know if that helps us at all, but I did 9 points of damage.
Okay. And yeah, so then it's going to point at a place to do a thing. And again, you see a spark appear in its hand. Starts to kind of crackle and hiss, and let's see. I think it's basically going to aim for the spot right next to Rictavio. There are no counter spells to be had this time.
Nope. I'm out.
Okay. Um, so yeah, it does that, and you watch as this little beam of orangish light zooms toward a point on the stairs next to Rictavio, and a fireball detonates in the hallway. So I'm gonna need like everybody to make. I think it's an agility dex save.
Did my spiders have held actions too?
Um, I don't know if they're like.
I don't know if they're allowed to. Like,
Yeah, I would say probably not.
okay. Oh, dang it! I slipped. Oh, that's better.
Oh boy.
Oh, oh no.
Yep.
Am I gonna be the only one to make this?
I mean, it's just a
Let's,
fireball.
It's just a fireball. It's not like it's killed a PC before in this game, in this very building. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, let's get a save here for Greg, who actually has advantage. So that's a good thing. So Dex. There you go. Okay, so Greg makes a save. Let's see how the NPCs fare.
They all die. It's a 7th level fireball.
Fuck.
I think everyone would die, even if we made our saves. Except Greg, maybe.
Alright. Well, Rictavio is a nimble old man with a natural 20.
Yeah,
Woo.
he is.
Let's see how Esmeralda does. Esmeralda, not so much. Alright. So, now we roll the damage for this thing.
Ouch.
And yeah.
I don't even know what it is, and I know it hurts a lot.
Okay. So I mean, it certainly could have been worse. So anybody who did not make their save takes 32 points of fire damage.
Are you down again?
Maybe.
That's all. I can take another one.
Normally, I'd be just fine with that.
And those who did make their saves are going to take 16. All right. And I think after it like just explodes the hallway, it just sort of sneers and looks down, kind of purposefully making eye contact with Ron, and says, "You know, you really did make a mistake coming here, but no matter. Mistake is made." Just sort of smiles. Ron, it's your turn.
I'll say, well, how can we fix this mistake? If it's cleaning up the bookshelves, I can take care of that. I just need to rest. Otherwise, I'm just going to move back up the stairs. I like walk right up to him.
Okay.
I'll just say, you know, I'm willing to help you out in fixing this. If you'll help us locate our missing object.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Woohoo!
All right, that's respectable. That's all right.
The plus 15.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, anything else you want to do before we
Nope.
keep this going and eventually get back around to this Yugoth?
Nope. That's all.
Okay. Muriel, like, still standing there with her short sword out, like, looking at the thing like, do I do it? I don't know. But she sees there's at least an attempt at some diplomacy going on, so once again, she's going to stand there and do nothing. Yoan, what are you doing?
I'm gonna touch Dane and cast Cure Wounds at level 2. Well, take 8 points of healing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Dane, your memories of a series of events have not been so fragmented since your college days back under the mountain.
I'm gonna need a long nap after this.
You've taken about 5 small ones.
All right. And, yeah, I think Rictavio comes up the steps and says, Ron, be careful. And, yeah, I think he's going to walk up to you, and you feel his hand, like, on your shoulder. And he's going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on you.
What exactly does that do?
It protects you.
From evil and good. Let's see if this works or if I need to, like, copy paste it. Hey, it whispered to me, so that's something.
Wait,
You
so-
read it yesterday. Well, it
Yeah.
got posted yesterday.
I know, but I couldn't remember it.
Wait a minute. That's detect. What? Why? It's the wrong one.
Protection from good and evil is now detect magic.
Okay. I'm gonna copy paste it, so I'm not fucking with shit. Copy. Pasta. Go go.
Alright. Oh, damn. Okay. Awesome. I'll just kind of reach over and, like, kind of grab... Did he put his hand on my shoulder or on my back?
Like on your shoulder.
Alright, I'll reach over and grab his hand and say, thank you for the support. And I'll toss him a wink if I can.
All right. And what turns into kind of an awkward moment.
Yep.
Yeah. I just hear Laura yelling downstairs as she's playing another game.
Yeah, just
Ah!
yeah.
Fusroda!
Okay. Yeah, and then I mean, Greg's not one to be left out of the action, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, as I say, he would like bully his way between us and then stand there awkwardly.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to be the muscle in the situation.
Yep.
Okay. Dane.
I want to go to the bottom of the stairs and look and see if there's another way out of here.
Dane's like, fuck this shit. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not getting blown up again. Thank you very much. Alright, so you head down and scope out the makings of the spiral staircase here. And are you gonna like just start walking up the staircase and see where it leads you?
Sounds good.
Okay. So you walk up about 10 feet or so before you look up and see that the ceiling seems to be getting considerably closer to the steps as you go up, and that's because now looking at the ceiling, you can see a large, it looks like a hooded face made of stone. And maybe at about this point, it all kind of starts coming together.
Yep.
hmm
Okay.
Okay. Um, spiders, I guess, are just skittering out and kind of framing this whole thing.
Can I give instructions to the spiders on the spider's turn, or do I have to wait till my turn?
I believe you have to wait till your turn. I thought that's how it worked.
Okay, that's how I thought it worked too.
But yeah. Esmeralda is visibly wary of this whole thing. She draws her longsword and... Oh wait, is it a longsword? I think it's a longsword. Maybe it's a short sword. What do you wield?
I think it's a short sword.
It's a short sword because she can wield it with her rapier. So yeah, she has a silvered short sword in one hand, a fancy-looking rapier in the other, and she is ready in the event of some fuckery going down. And so the fox creature kind of narrows its eyes and looks at Ron. It says, "Looking for something that's lost." What is it that you seek?
His sword, and I'll point to down the staircase.
At where Dane has disappeared up the steps.
Yep.
Okay. And unless somebody's gonna like jump in and do stuff to interrupt, we'll just carry out this conversation.
I just have something to happen in the background.
Okay.
I'll come back down the staircase so that I'm not up there as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell my spiders to protect Dane.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the creature says, "So you've ventured into the arguably most evil place in the evilest of evil places for a sword?"
Well, it's not just any sword. And we wandered in here for help, but have seemingly lost his sword, and so we chased a vampire here and he led us here. By the way, hi, my name is Ron, and I will kind of extend just cautiously and slowly extend a hand. Non-threateningly.
Okay. I wonder what his feelings are on this. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think he'll play along. He again like takes a moment, pushes the spectacles up a bit, and shakes your hand, and says, "My name is Nephiron. Hmm.
Put one too many F's in there. Okay.
And he says, "So what? Am I supposed to act as some sort of genie and grant you 3 wishes?"
No, nothing like that, actually. It seems there's been a misunderstanding with us impeding on your area,
And destroying my home, as I'm sure that one could clarify if you're still confused. He gestures toward Dane, who just returned from the spiral staircase.
Yeah, they really did trash your house.
well, those vampires also did do some work trashing the house.
I mean, the statue was just fine until you and your rabble walked in here.
Oh, you're talking about the big one out there?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I apologize. That was also me. But
I know, I saw you cast the spell.
oh, shit. So wait, if we're in the evilest of evil, does that mean make you like the leader of the evil here?
No, I was brought here, and the foolish mortal mages that founded this place were, well, they were a bit brighter than I gave them credit for, and they were able to seal me here. I can't exactly leave.
I know the feeling. Um, what are your stances on Strahd von Sarovich?
I know of him. I think he's been here a few times.
Well, because of him, we're actually trapped in this. You know, you're in another dimension, right? You're not in the material realm.
I'm pretty well aware, yes.
Okay. Well, we're working our way out, or at least to be able to get out of this realm and back to the material plane. Is that something that you would like? If we were to find a way to free you from this place.
I think he pauses and he says, "I don't know that that's something that you'd be able to accomplish, but in the short term, I think I have some information that may prove useful to you and your lot. I just wonder what you might have for trade."
What are you looking for? I mean, we've got all kinds of stuff.
Hmm. And he strokes his chin, thinks about it, and says, "Well, he kind of like begins sizing up the different members of the party here. He says,
As he's doing that, I slip off my ring, the ring that has Melkar in it, and I'll say, I'm gonna just kind of. Is there a table nearby?
it's probably like 10 feet away, but yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna walk over and set it on the table and just step away so I'm not in contact with the ring and say, that ring contains the soul of someone that was near and dear to us but betrayed us. I'll give you that soul for your information.
Don't underestimate me. I'm well aware that it can't leave that ring until it's good and ready. How would you entice this traitorous scum in the ring to leave and fall under my possession?
Um, well, if we can get a body for it, I can convince him to possess the body.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. I'll pick the ring back up and put it on.
You could try and stand his house back up.
I mean, obviously, I was going to help get the house back in order. I didn't realize anybody was living here.
Come to think of it, is the traitorous scum you're talking about that burnt corpse in the middle of the floor out there?
Uh, didn't we clean that up?
I mean, there's still some bits and pieces, if we're being honest.
Okay. Yes, and I can clean that up for you if you would like.
I mean, I'm perfectly content cleaning up my own messes, but
Whew, that was a nice show of fireball.
and just sort of smirks and says, "Well, there's plenty more of that, but I still wonder what can you do to improve my existence here? I'm growing bored after decades, centuries. I'm not even sure how long I've been here at this point.
Well, what is the extent? Like, how far can you go out?
I am incapable of crossing the threshold of the Ember Temple.
Okay. Well, what are your delights? What do you enjoy?
Sort of smirks for a moment and says, "Oh, I haven't really had much delight since the good old days back in Sigil, attending parties with my friend Shemeshka and just generally enjoying the power that comes with a station such as ours." He like gestures at himself as though you're supposed to like recognize how great and powerful he is.
So, where is this sigil?
I'm not sure your brain would be capable of comprehending such things.
I will take your word on it. The last time I heard that, I almost got killed by a statue. Um, well, I am very good at throwing parties. We could throw one big party here. Granted, it would probably turn out to be a little bit more destructive, but that's how parties go.
I don't know, he seems kind of like distant, detached from the conversation, as though he's maybe growing a bit bored. And, he says, "Well, I think there may be something in this place that could benefit the both of us, now that I think about it. I've seen walking the halls, not recently, but perhaps in years past, a wrinkly old mage-looking fellow, stank of necromancy. Not sure where he's gotten off to, but he did look to have a number of fine trinkets on his person. They might be fun toys to help pass the years.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, and he points at the area, actually the area that Dane had been inspecting earlier, looking for a secret door, and he says, "There's a secret passage over there. It leads to what I believe to be his quarters. I have not had the inclination to venture over to that part of the temple. But should you head over there, find something interesting, perhaps reclaim a valuable trinket or two for me, I may be able to impart some valuable information."
Yeah, I'll bring whatever I can find.
Very well.
I'll hold my hand out to shake.
And the kind of large, clawed, furry hand kind of clasps yours a little too tightly.
Okay, that's fine. How tall is he compared to me?
He's probably about 7.5 feet tall.
Okay, a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
Meaty looking, or is he kind of scrawny looking?
Let's see. I mean, probably on the stronger side. Like not bulky, but
Muscle where it
there's
counts.
something imposing about the physical presence. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'll say, are you, by any chance, like, were-cat? I'm just asking because I've met a lot of were-things around here, and everybody seems to, not want me to be a were-thing, so...
Sort of chuckles and says, "No, I'm nothing of that sort. Well, your friend said it pretty well. I'm a planar creature."
Oh. Okay. I do like the look. It's cool.
Does Ron think it's planar or planar?
Planar.
Okay.
Planare.
Okay, yeah, I haven't experienced much with the planar travel other than using a dimension door or two.
How interesting.
Nah. Well, I guess we will... Do you want us to just kill him, or what do you want us to do with him?
Well, see what there is to be obtained and, well, act accordingly.
Okay.
Just bring me something interesting.
Gotcha. I did find a coffin earlier. It was kind of interesting. Soft. You probably wouldn't fit. I'll get it for you before we leave.
All right. It says, "All right, well, off with you. I'll go and try to prepare the statue for some semblance of a repair."
Okay. And does he just kind of disappear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think once you say okay, he just kind of seems to vanish from the spot he's standing.
I'm gonna look around at everybody. Is that okay with everybody else?
Maybe we can take. Excuse me. Maybe we can
Bless
take
you.
a small rest first and then head out.
Hey, Yoan, did you know you sneeze like a girl?
I'm okay with that. It's the tusks. Makes it harder.
Gotcha. All right.
Picturing
Yes.
like big burly orc dude, well half orc dude, like 1 second.
Yes. Yes.
Anyways,
What time of day is it now?
It's Temple O'clock.
So I could use a bit more than a short rest.
how long has it been since we've fully rested?
I mean, really, not that long, because
Yeah.
you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we just kind of stumbled in and got our shit pushed in.
Um, can I cast dispel magic on
What?
uh Dane to see if that at 4th level to see if that gets rid of his loss of things?
Oh, it's loss of health.
Yeah.
Health.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay.
It does nothing.
It does nothing.
Dang it. I tried.
Oh well.
Hey, don't you have something else to remove stuff? Or is that?
No, that's it.
No. Okay. Well, looks like Dane's screwed.
Hey, Octavio, you know anything to fix this problem?
He kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, you are looking a bit rough, aren't you?" Um, he kind of seems to be mentally going through his catalog of things he's capable of doing, you know, as though he wasn't innately familiar and had to reread some stuff.
He's
Um,
old. It's okay.
Yeah.
As he does that, he notices his glasses get a little bit cleaner as I cast prestidigitation on them.
Okay.
And I'll say, well, here, let me clean your glasses for you. Maybe you can see better.
Yeah, Rotavia doesn't think he has anything that will help your particular affliction.
Okay. I guess I'll go sit in the library and take a break for a little bit.
Yeah, well, can we take a short rest and then head out?
Yeah, that's the thing you could do.
Okay. I mean, I'm not asking you. I'm asking everyone.
It's good with me.
Yeah, I could use a short rest. I could use a long one.
Okay. Well, we rest for an hour, I guess.
Okay. So go ahead and use hit dice and stuff.
I don't know. I've already had a long day. I can go back to sleep for a while.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll pull out a. I'll pull out just a flute and just play like a little, like light flute piece for your song of rest.
Okay.
So you get an extra D8.
oh, that would help.
Jeez.
Well, that solves half my problem.
You get a free D8 too.
Not a D6.
Nope, it's a D8.
Oh, D8. Okay. I lied.
I like how the D8 was your best,
Yep. Well, I roll all d8s, so
but you do a D8 plus 1.
yeah. Um,
So yeah, is that all the hit dice that we're going to be rolling for the time being?
I would certainly hope so.
Does Greg want to do any?
Um, let's see. I mean, like,
Nah,
hold on.
fuck it. I'll roll some too.
by the way, I can cast locate creature to try and locate that vampire.
That'd be useful.
Yeah, if people stop running into things.
I guess Greg will use a couple hit dice. And then a D8 on top of that.
Yep. Hey, that healed me to full. And I am out of hit dice. That's a thing.
Alright, so Greg's gonna get back a total of 18.
Are you sure you reset them? Or did you use a bunch the day before?
I did use a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't help that you rolled 2 nat 1s and a nat 2 on those either.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm full health. I rolled them all before I even calculated it, so it just so worked out.
Okay. Well, after taking a rest in the reasonably comfortable space that you find yourselves in, I mean, it's a cozy library type area. Yeah, what's the plan?
I'm gonna pick up a book and try to read it.
Okay. So
One that
you
looks
pick up.
magical.
Okay. Let's see here. So you pick up a book that it's pretty nice looking. I mean, it's got some elegant art, kind of just drawn on the cover of it. It's got like little bits of gold leaf here and there. It's like a very finely made book, but there's no title on the front cover or the spine, or for that matter, anywhere. And you open it, and it's more of the same. Seems like a blank book full of blank pages.
Uh, I'll pick up another one and look at it.
Okay. This one's a little older, maybe not as ornately fashioned as the last one, but content-wise, it's the same. Nothing on the cover, nothing in the pages.
I'll say, hey Dane, you want check out this book? This thing's cool. Does it say anything for you? I can't read it.
I'll go walk over and look at it.
Okay. And so you watch as your three-eyed friend, well, three-eyed and no-eyed at the same time, comes over and skims the book, and it doesn't seem like there's anything in there for you either.
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very interesting book. I'll turn it and throw it down the stairs. Let's go
Okay.
find my sword.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I
Do
just
you want
want.
to find the necromancer first or the sword?
I want my sword.
Yeah, we probably should get the sword
Yeah.
before we get the necromancer.
It'll probably help against the necromancer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just stand there and watch. Be just about as useful.
Okay. I'm gonna cast locate creature.
Okay, specifically on the vampire spawn that ran away with the sun sword, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
That one was
So,
Roger. Was his name?
totally. How did you know?
Um. Yeah. My spiders are no more.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going over to hug one for healing.
I mean, you probably did that at the beginning.
Yeah, I
So,
did.
yeah. They, as you hug them, they disappear. You are taking their health.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So, you take a moment and kind of reach out in all directions looking for the essence of this creature that ran away with the sun sword. And you don't sense anything.
Um. It's more than 1,000 feet from me.
I mean, you did take an hour-long rest.
Is the Amber Temple that big? Or is it
Nope.
outside the Amber Temple? What'd you say?
I said at least from what you've seen, it doesn't seem to be that big.
Um, I will say, yeah, it's no longer in the Ember Temple.
Are you able to detect the sword through anything of magic?
I mean, not now, not today.
Okay. I guess we can go through that door and see where that leads.
All right, so I'm gonna go and check out the now readily apparent secret door on the west wall.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, a little bit of searching, poking around. You eventually find the mechanism to release it, and much like the door that had led down to the Yugoloth's dwelling, you watch as it slides over, revealing a like a 10-foot wide hallway that seems to run kind of along the inside of this wall. Um, yeah, move some shit.
Nope.
Alright. And about 20 feet down this hallway, to your right, which is once again the west side of this little tiny chamber you're in now, you see the outline of what's probably another secret door. And so who do we have going through here?
I'll go.
Greg. Well, Greg probably goes first.
Yeah, we can send Greg first. I'll stand next to him.
Okay.
I will be in third.
I'm hanging way back.
Okay. So get Greg, Dane, and Eowyn. And Ron's hanging way back.
Yeah, back of the pack.
Well, okay.
Do we have light?
Dane.
Is Dane still light?
I think Esmeralda's happy enough to re-up the light on Dane.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just clear some other stuff out of the way here. Okay. And do-do-do-do-do. All right. So, kind of looking back at the rest of the group, Greg sort of looks for the go-ahead, and assuming he gets it, kind of leans into the panel on the wall here, and you see it kind of jump back like a good 3 to 4 inches, kind of recessing into whatever chamber you're about to make your way into. As it does that, it kind of begins to move to the side on its own. And yeah, Greg looks down. And you see him kind of nudge something out of the way, and you hear the squealing of wood furniture on a stone floor, just as he kind of walks through one side of a large writing desk and finds himself in a room about 40 feet long, 30 feet wide. I'll hold off on moving this for the time being. You all kind of emerge. Actually, I'm going to do this while I reset. You all emerge, or at least begin to. Greg goes first, moving the desk. Following right behind him then would probably be Dane. And since Dane's the first PC who's actually here, I'm going to describe what you see, from Dane's perspective here. You see this room, 40 feet deep, across from the wall that you're entering through, 30 feet wide. There are a number of work surfaces visible all around, from a writing desk to a few tables, almost covered in what look like kind of eclectic odds and ends, a few vials and bottles of unknown liquids. Against the southern wall is a bed, and scattered around the perimeter of the room are a number of seats. And across the room, almost directly across as you walk through this hole in the wall, you see two figures seated in armchairs, kind of facing you, but more angled towards each other, as though they're in the middle of a conversation. And these two figures both look up at you as Greg finishes squealing the writing desk along the floor, and Dane makes his entrance behind. And you see seated to your right in a large plush armchair, his feet actually up on an ottoman of sorts, is a figure in billowing red and gold robes with a series of red gems seemingly embedded in his forehead. The flesh that you can see, meaning his head and his hands, the skin is pulled taut against this frame, and the fingernails seem to have grown out into long black claws. There's a look of befuddlement on this thing's face as you walk in. And it sort of looks over at the other figure. A pale humanoid man with long dark hair, cupping a goblet of some sort of beverage, and just sort of calmly watching you file in. As Yoen probably comes in next, being the first one of this group to actually have seen this person before. At least I think. This is a good question. Well, just for clarification, Strahd's in here having a conversation with this other undead-looking person. Has Yoen interacted face-to-face with Strahd before?
I don't think so. Except in a dream.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you'd probably recognize Strahd. I think what you saw in your dream was pretty accurate.
Okay. I will jump a little bit.
All right. And I think he just looks at all of you and says, "Welcome, friends. What brings you here to my friend's abode this day?"
Hello. Have you seen somebody come running through here with my sword?
He says, having never met Strahd before. He says, I'm afraid I haven't. I did see one of my children come through with what looked like a broken blade, just a hilt. And I sent him home with it. But a sword, I don't think I've seen anything of the sort.
That sounds like my sword. He must have broken it. I'd like that back.
Sounds like you're playing with dangerous items. I think it may be best to keep such a thing away from, well, situations that might lead to it being used regrettably.
That sounds wise. But it's a very nice sword.
I'm sure it is.
It should be used, not just stored away somewhere.
He takes a sip from his goblet and sets it on the desk that's just a bit off to one side from where he's sitting. And stands up and says, "Pardon me, I don't think we've been properly introduced."
Hello.
He stands up from his armchair, and in the blink of an eye, it seems like he's in front of you, hand outstretched. And he says, "My name is Strahd von Zarovich, ruler of this land. You are?"
I'll shake its hand and say, I'm Dane.
"Of course. It's a pleasure to finally meet you."
Pleasure to meet you as well.
He looks over at Greg and kind of does the same thing. I imagine Greg is kind of weirded out by the whole thing, but at least for the moment, he's not swinging his axe around. And what are Yoan and Ron doing as they kind of look on from what would basically be the second rank of the group here?
I'm gonna try to slink away a bit and hide. Like, hide in the back.
like behind Rictavio and Esmeralda,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
Yep.
I'm gonna stay right where I am.
Okay.
Just stand there.
All right. And he looks over, sizing up the group. Looks at Rictavio and says, "Ah, Rudolph, good to see you again. And your protege?" Looks at Esmeralda. Kind of ignores the presence of the were-raven and sort of has to crane to one side to like see around her and make out the form of Ron hiding behind. And my old friend Ron, how are you?
Oh, hi. Excuse me. And I'm like, kind of like, push my way. I didn't see you. Sorry, I didn't see you parked there. And I'll walk up to him and say, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. But I must ask, what brings you and your party? And before he continues on, he kind of acknowledges Yoan for the first time. Says, "Oh, and you, I don't think we've met, at least in person, yet, have we?"
No, we have not.
He extends a hand, as he has the other folks he hasn't met yet.
I will shake it
Okay.
firmly.
Okay. And yeah, then he sort of continues on and says, "And what brings you to the Amber Temple?"
Well, I was looking for a place to. Well, actually, we were meeting Melkar out here originally, but
Hmm.
he got zapped by the dude in the other room. Um, and actually, it's funny that you're here, and I'll slide the ring off and say, "Here, I have something that I think belongs to you, or at least someone that maybe you could do something with him. I can't really do anything with him."
So you're just gonna hand him the ring with milk?
Yeah, just
All right. He takes the ring and places it on one finger. You watch as it kind of resizes to fit just perfectly. And there's like a brief moment where it seems like Strahd is uh, otherwise occupied, maybe communicating with Malkar. And then there's just this little smirk on his face. He says, "Well, thank you. I was wondering what had become of our mutual friend Malkar."
yeah. Well, it's kind of a shame. He was helping us gain entrance into this place, and it
Hmm.
seems we found the person who killed him, but they're too strong for us. He isn't sitting here talking to that guy that we just made a deal with, is he? This is a different guy.
No. This other figure looks very different from the fox person that you
Okay.
had interacted with. This is like basically a bald undead figure with what look like rubies embedded in his forehead.
Okay. Cool.
Most
Uh,
likely, this is probably the necromancer we were searching for.
could be.
I'll say, yeah, we were sent here by Nepheron. Fox guy. Uh, he doesn't take too kindly to your friend.
Well, I'll let them sort out their own issues. I'm not one to interfere in such matters around here.
Neither are we, but we really didn't have much of a choice.
And he says, "Oh, where are my manners? Please, 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 come in. Have a seat." And there are probably enough places to sit if you use up all of the like kind of rough-hewn wooden chairs, and there's like a little love seat on the south wall.
I'll go sit in
So
the love
everyone's
seat.
okay. And he goes back to his seat, grabs his beverage, and sits down, kind of sizing up the whole party. And as you all get situated, is there anyone who'd like to like remain standing? Because it's definitely a thing you could do.
Mm,
I'm gonna
No.
try to drag the love seat over kind of to the rest of the group.
So again, you hear that awkward
Yes.
whine of wood on stone.
Yep. The whole way across.
Yeah, I think the rest of the group can just kind of see Strahd's eyes following the the love seat that's just squealing across the ground.
Will Smith and Men in Black, just
Mhm.
dragging the table over.
Yep.
That's exactly how Ron does it too.
And once you're all situated, Strahd says, I've heard some disturbing rumors of late that a group of outsiders, not from Barovia, have been attempting to accumulate some sort of power in perhaps the hopes of staging a coup. None of you would know anything about that, would you? Everybody's remaining tight-lipped.
Not to know.
I did hear Malkar was part of that at one
Okay, so what's your angle here?
point. What do you mean?
So, are you trying to like shift all the blame to Malkar? Is that
Sure. Yeah.
okay? I mean, like, technically, he was part of it.
Yeah.
This is a very selective truth.
Yep.
Um, but I think Strahd says, yes, I'm aware of that, and I'm aware he came to his senses. Eventually sought out audience with me. I'm rather disappointed that none of your group besides him have done so yet. But, well, I suppose it only confirms my suspicions. And he looks over to Ron and says, I thought we had such a pleasant working relationship going. And I think there's about to be some mindfuckery going on here. So I would like Ron to make a wisdom save.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, like you're totally like you should be much nicer to Strahd than you've been. I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, Strahd's such a nice guy.
yeah, he really is. He's like a trusted friend that should be, listened to and obeyed if well, not obeyed necessarily, but you should consider anything he tells you in the best possible frame of reference and if he's in danger, you should probably protect him.
Gotcha.
Um, Do I have a strong suspicion that this is happening?
Make an insight check. You definitely see something kind of intensify about his gaze toward Ron. I think it's enough to at least tip you off that there may be something going on between the lines here.
As I say, you also see Ron visibly relax at the fact that he's like, oh, okay, things are okay with him. Good, he's not mad. So.
I want to ask if Strahd would mind speaking to me alone.
Yeah, I think he looks visibly surprised at that. He like raises. I would have no issue with such things, but we are not in my abode. He looks over at his undead friend with his feet still up on an ottoman, kind of just like reclining, like he's in front of the TV drinking a beer. And he says, "Would you mind, old friend?" The undead creature sort of looks at him, looks at the group, and you hear this like kind of dry, gravelly old voice say, "Well, you all head back through the door you entered through. I will make myself scarce for a moment, but just know that I don't have forever." And he kind of chuckles, realizing.
Actually, I did have a couple questions for you.
Yes?
Well, we could discuss while they discuss, if you would like. Kind of kill two birds with one stone.
He says, "Very well, meet me in the library."
The one, just, okay, got it. And before I turn around, I'm gonna message Strahd and say, I also would like to talk to you in private when you get a chance.
Alright. I think you see just the slightest hint of a nod in your direction as you send that message. Okay. So, is Dane okay leaving Yoan alone in a room with Strahd?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Rictavio is visibly concerned here, but he's spent enough time around Yoan to trust that there's a plan here, and it's probably not the worst plan in the world, so he'll go along with it. And so you all file out. The old, wrinkled, undead creature sort of taking his time, easing up off of the armchair and ottoman, eventually just following them right, out the door, down the hall, and back into the library. And, okay. And as they file out of the room, it would be possible to close the door if that's a thing that you want to do, Yoan.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this a conversation that you're comfortable having in front of other players, or should we, take a minute?
We should take a minute.
Okay, so, tell you what.
I want to impart something, though.
Uh-huh.
This card, it kind of looks like it has a Darth Vader helmet on.
Okay.
Okay, that's my impart.
All right. Well, in that case, the stuff that you guys want to talk to this other individual about, is there anything that you wouldn't want Becca to hear?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
My first thing is, so you're a necromancer, right?
He kind of looks up as though he's struggling to recall the exact um, details of his like extended existence. But what he says is he says, to be honest, I don't have much recollection of how I came to be what I am today. I fear the length of time spent here has addled the brain a bit.
So are you stuck here too?
I don't know that stuck is the right word. I have comfortable little abode in that chamber back there. And, well, I've just not seen fit to leave.
But you don't aspire to do anything other than just exist? I mean, I know you have Strahd as a friend, but, you know, doesn't it get boring just
I
sitting
have
around?
who as a friend?
The gentleman in there.
There's someone in my house?
Uh, uh, yes?
Huh. Are they friendly?
Oh yeah, as am I. We're friends of friendly. We were just we were actually sent over by your neighbor, who was concerned about you. And I will roll a deception check
Okay.
if you would
Yeah,
like.
go ahead.
All right. Got to bust this out in a while.
Alright.
Of all the things, I'm not really that good at lying. Like, I mean, it's not. I'm not even proficient in lying.
Okay. Here.
You're just more wholesome than you think you are.
I really am.
Alright. He says, I don't remember having any neighbor.
Uh, what about the guy right through there? And I'll point towards the. Or are we in the library?
Yeah,
In the
you're
library.
in the library. The other secret door has been closed at this point.
Okay. Uh, I'll say. Well, what about the? What was his name? Nephron.
Never heard of him.
Oh. Well, he didn't really like you very much. I don't know what you were doing. Were you? Do you like to yell a lot?
What?
I'm going to message him and say, here, this might be better for us to communicate.
Alright. Very well.
I'm just glad I didn't get a what in my in my head. And from here on out, I am sorry to everybody else, but this is a message conversation. I will fill you
Okay.
in on it afterwards, but yeah. Well, as you probably don't know, I am a practitioner of the magical arts, and I'm looking for ways to gain power and knowledge. And if you are what was said that you are. You must have some knowledge.
Says, I do think you're right, but much of it has been clouded. I can't seem to remember much beyond, well, my humble little abode back there. It's as though something has been placed as a barrier of sorts in my mind, obscuring much of what I once knew.
I think the person in there might be able to fix that for you. Or I turn and look at Octavio. Do you have anything to fix that?
Rictavio is like,
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
sorry,
I assume
Octavio.
you fill him in. I mean, that's
yeah.
fine.
But I have that momentary lapse of judgment and say, "Do you have anything to fix that?" And he just looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. His mind's clouded. Do you have anything that might be able to fix that?" He said that it's almost like there's something clouding his mind.
Let's see.
And then I'll turn back to him and go, now that you mention it, that happens to me a lot too. Not quite as much, but yeah.
I think Rictavio says, are you sure this is a good idea?
Well, couldn't hurt at this point, could it?
And I think he like kind of beckons you over for a side conversation from the side.
All right,
And
I'll walk over.
yeah, he says, I haven't encountered one in person before, but everything about this person very much reminds me of the descriptions of liches in textbooks. I'm not saying it's sure to lead to disaster, but this is dangerous territory we're treading in.
I agree, but I mean, at this point, we can either go back and face Neferon, face Strahd, and surely die. I mean, I'm out of options here. I have one spell left. And I was planning on use that to save all of our asses and use my bubble. And I figured I can use the bubble. You guys can do your, you can save him, do your thing, and then we can talk through the bubble to him and discuss.
There's a long period as he coming to terms, I think, is the best way to put it, with the plan. And then he says, fine, but be ready, yes?
Yeah. Should I pop my bubble now? Should I throw that down?
No, I would wait until the time calls for it. Or is it instantaneous, I wonder? That's a good question.
It is not. It is
It takes a minute?
Yes, it is a casting time of a minute. But I can ritually cast it. So, like, I can cast it. I've casted it ritually before, so, like, I can cast it for 11 minutes without using a slot.
Okay.
So, like, I can always have it for later.
Yeah, I mean, I think he says, well, should I give you some lead time in case things go wrong? Time to prepare the spell?
Yeah, if you can.
All right. And so this like kind of awkward conversation ensues as you're tracing out what you need. So do you want to try and take 11 minutes to do this, or are you going to use your spell slot and cut it to 1 minute?
Um, I don't know that we have 11 minutes, so I guess I'll use my spell slot.
Okay.
So.
And so yeah, there's this approximately minute-long conversation between Rictavio and this possible lich. That's kind of reminiscent of like when you go to say an old folks home and there's somebody who's like not entirely there. You're having a conversation to be nice, kind of thing. Um, yeah. And so you eventually get your spell put together, Rictavio and everyone else swings it so that they just happen to be in the right area as the thing comes up. And, then they're able to freely come and go as they please and all that good stuff.
And I'll just turn inside.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it like a very light, like gray, so I can see pretty well outside.
Okay. And, and then you watch, Rictavio walk up to the lich question mark and say, friend, I think I may have a spell or two that could help with your condition. Would you mind? The lich is like, well, it's certainly worth a try. So you watch as Rictavio pulls out his like holy book and he's like reading a verse and reciting a prayer and all of this stuff. Makes the sign of the morning lord in the air that sort of lingers there as this like vibrant yellowish orange energy coalesces and sort of drifts toward the head of this lich. And it kind of leaves an imprint there for a moment, and you see this like poof of glowing energy. It sort of dissipates and little sparkles off to the side. And there's this kind of hesitant, pregnant pause. And Rictavio says, "Do you remember anything?" "What was your name again?"
Ah, shit. I will poke my head out and say, did it work?
And Rictavio turns and says, I don't think so.
Try it again.
Have you tried turning him off and on again? Oh, shoot.
And Rictavio says, well, there may be one other spell I could try. One moment. He kind of like gestures to everyone else, like, if you want to get back in the bubble, get back in the bubble.
Yep, I'm gonna pop my head back in the bubble and just sit and watch.
Okay. You watch as he like carries out this different, kind of similar ritual, but different in the symbols that are traced out and the prayers that are recited. And he like actually like physically traces out a sign of the Morning Lord and some other stuff on the gem encrusted forehead of this lich. And as the spell comes to an end, and again there's this pulse of orangish energy that just exudes from the undead form. Again, the thing kind of looks around. Rictavio says, "How about now? Do you remember anything apart from your little dwelling back there?" Bork. Says, "What did I come to the library for?
At this point, I'll
Can't
poke
read
my
any of these fucking books anyway."
At this point, I'll poke my head out and say, "Did it work?"
I'm afraid not.
Shit. And I'll just kind of walk out of the bubble and let it pop. I'll say, well, would you mind if I cast a spell to see if I can identify what your problem is? It won't
I
hurt.
suppose it would be fine. I've already seen the light show a couple of times today.
This is not a light show, though. This is just I just merely have to touch you. So I'm gonna cast Identify. Yeah, with a spell slot.
Okay. Right. So, you cast Identify. Place your hand on your new friend here, and basically, what you can gather is much of its history is kind of a mystery to it. Can't even remember its own name. It has forgotten many of the spells that it once knew, though it doesn't seem to be entirely devoid of magical potential. And with the Identify spell, I think you gather that in order to restore this thing to its previous state, whatever that would be, that would require a casting of Greater Restoration.
Ah. Okay. I'll say, you don't happen to have Greater Restoration, do you, Rictavio?
I'm afraid that's a bit above my reach at this point.
Oh, I'm surprised. Side note, what does his little seal of the Morning Lord that we gave him do? Or whatever it is. The seal of Ravenkind?
The holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Yeah, that one.
Let's see.
Because I thought that had a restore function.
Hmm.
We've given it to him and he's never used it.
Hold vampires, turn undead, sunlight. No restoration though.
No? Okay. Alrighty then. I'll say, well, our friend in there talking to a mutual friend is our only chance of being able to remove this then. And then I will look at Octavio and message him and say, why not cause a little more chaos in this already chaotic place?
He gives you this kind of disapproving look.
Okay.
And, yeah. So, if nobody has anything else they'd like to do at this point, I think, the camera dramatically shifts back through the wall and we see a conversation about to take place between Yoan and Strahd. And just as the first few words are about to leave Yoan's mouth, camera cuts to black, and it's the end of the session.